Protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up. God bless.
Source 3900.
Yo. Okay. Yo, we'd like to welcome to TG and Tyler podcast. Where we keep it poppin', talking about the hottest topics. Man, y'all make sure to stay tuned. I got you. Yo, what's good, man? Yo, I want to touch on a couple topics. Welcome back to the podcast, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and not follow, but you know, you can follow me, Mr. 616, on TikTok. But I wanted to touch on the Nolan Wells case and how everybody been pointing out holes in Warren, Wyatt, Bart, and Jack's story. Well, you know, I'm not here to point out nobody, but I want to bring something that just struck me. I mean, it hit me like a piece of lightning. Come on in and sit down, because this one gonna be good. This is something nobody's talking about. So, I mean, everybody's talking about the case, but what I'm speaking on, nobody's have touched this yet, and it's really, really bothered me. So I was listening to Nancy Grace, you know, go over the Nolan Wells case, and I just wanted to do a reaction video to her crime story video. So we're gonna get right into it, and let's see what she got to say. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what Nancy Grace has to say. And thank you for covering this, Nancy. I appreciate you, and all the other YouTubers. I thank you guys for covering it, but I definitely want to touch on this. Let's go.
Shining star Nolan Wells has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. A Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo.
Two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. The Triton, as you said, left around 4:30.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when?
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left.
Okay, so we heard this new evidence, not evidence where it hasn't been submitted as evidence, but we have an altercation. What I want to speak on, I'm gonna play this video a little bit more, and I'm gonna touch on the altercation. You know, what I observed from
whatever happens
just listening.
next.
So you know, I'm in the car truck a long time, and I'm listening, and I sure want to comment. So I
Then
had
she
to
said
do my
she
own video.
messaged one of
So
the
we gonna
individuals
comment
that
on
she
it. So let's get back into what Nancy Grace says about the altercation. Let's go.
saw. Hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys, and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
That from Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Okay, how is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubé joining me. He's joining us out of LA, formerly in the public defender's office. They try.
Right there. That right there. She said the video to see if it was time stamped. Let's continue. Hold that. Let's continue.
A ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this. I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it. Then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
Please,
what
put
if
him
they've been
up.
drinking and smoking. You know how many people were
Okay,
partying
man.
out?
Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse during the altercation. Well, every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about? I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth. And let's
Yeah,
be
and
clear,
that would be the video.
remember, Nancy,
Okay.
not consistent.
Brandon
with the
Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that. Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was.
Had to stop it right there. Had to stop it. Nancy Grace. Come on now. Cut the shit. Cut the shit. Right there. They said over a girl. No, that's not what it said. It said over a phone. But let's continue.
Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline?
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to.
Gotta cut him off. He's lying. He did an interview 3 weeks ago, and he talked about an altercation that took place. At the same time, he also said that he had a good, reliable source, good 150% ratio that Nolan Wells had cocaine in his system. All right, here nor there. But this is the bombshell. This is what people was not talking about, right? If this is true, what the girl is saying, what the lady is saying, if that is true, that it was an altercation, and they argued about Nolan's phone, and she heard the girl say, break it up. If this is true, remember, the phone was on the boat. So they couldn't have been gone if they arguing about the phone. If they arguing about the phone and the phone is on the boat, that means the boat is there when the argument take place. So that would place them at the scene during the argument or altercation about the phone. Remember, Warren returned the phone to Mrs. Wells. So, if they arguing about the phone and the phone was on the boat was there at the scene at the time of the altercation. Now, let's get back to his friend or best friend, Tristan. I think he did a cover-up when he said, that was me. That was me. Nobody could verify that that was him arguing over a phone. I believe the video that we heard with Nolan Wells arguing for his phone, I believe that is Nolan arguing for his phone. Also, I want to bring up this. If you ever got into a physical fight and say Warren, Jax, and Wyatt didn't help him during this altercation, and he's like, well, I'm not going back. Y'all let me get jumped, or whatever the case may be. I could see him not wanting to get on the boat and go back with them. And they took his phone when they left. But they was there when the altercation took place because the altercation was about the phone. And I don't see how Nancy Grace left that out. She referred to the girl. The girl was in the second paragraph of the letter. She said, and I have to bring it back. What's the timestamp? 6:36. Right there. So if we look at this letter, it says, while I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. Several, key word. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yell for his phone to be returned. Right there. Opening statement. I heard Nolan yell for his phone to be returned. So if she witnessed this with her own eyes and she sit there, and that was the same thing we heard on the video, Nolan said, give me my phone back. Now, as you go on further down, it says, the argument continued after a group reached shore. And I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. Physical fight, multiple people. I also observed a young woman yelling, telling them to stop. Okay. Say, we know from different accounts. Warren said it. Tristan said it. Tristan said he was in a fight Warren said his brother was in the fight. His brother put somebody in an arm bar or arm lock or some jujitsu move, right? We know this, right? So everybody agrees that there was an altercation on the island. That's why Tristan said he had to hurry up and get out of there because he lost his cool. Okay, cool. So everybody from their account, it was an altercation. What time it took place is to be termed. Is to be determined. But we know that the altercation took place. We got that part. So when someone says the altercation took place, I heard Nolan, it says a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. So now we got Nolan's phone, which is a big piece of this puzzle. If the phone was on the boat and Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned, they were there at the time of the altercation. So when they say they don't know nothing, that's why we getting these weird stories with time lapses and big 30-minute gaps in what they're saying. It says, at that point, I left the area because the situation appeared to be getting worse. I didn't want to remain long enough to witness what happened afterwards. Everything beyond that I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Okay. So, we got the altercation. We got Nolan arguing with someone over his phone. And he wants his phone to be returned. Now, his phone was on the boat. How do we know that? Because Warren gave the phone back to Mrs. Wells. So if the phone is on the boat and they said they seen Nolan, the last time they seen Nolan was 3 o'clock, what time did this altercation take place? So let's keep going. I'm sorry, but that's a huge thing to me. If you arguing over a phone, someone be like, I don't have your phone, or your phone is on the boat, or whatever the case may be. But if his phone is right there and they have his phone and he's arguing for it back, and it's multiple, she says, involving multiple people. So we know from Warren account, his brother was in the altercation. We know from Nolan's best friend, I forgot his best friend name, he said it was an altercation and he had to go check on his other friend. When he got back, Nolan was gone. Okay, so we got that out the way. It was, from different accounts, it was an altercation. Seems like the altercation was over Nolan's phone. White people playing stupid and act like how do you not put this together? But let's continue. I'm sorry.
Multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting.
But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water, and how did he not?
Once again, when we talk about speculation, Officer Tatum, or whatever this guy name is, who said Nolan drowned? The autopsy never came back. They found him on the beach. They found him floating in the water. That doesn't mean he drowned. But he's putting and creating a narrative. His job is to run interference. He's not the person carrying the ball. He's not going to make the touchdown. He's just running interference, running guys off the field and out the way. So he's running interference. He is really trying to put reasonable doubt, because when a person get convicted of murder and they go for trial, the way they beat the murder is creating reasonable doubt. So every time you see him, his job is to keep creating reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt. But we missing the obvious, and he's ignoring the obvious. He don't want to acknowledge the CETO call. he's definitely just being oblivious to a lot of red flags. The redness behind Nolan's well head, the fact that they deleted all their social media accounts. Um, what else we have? Uh, I'm gonna tell you another thing that stood out to me. If this is your best friend, brother, and you go back, you take his phone, you leave him on the island without his phone, you get back to your house and you're able to sleep, and they like, well, where's Nolan? You telling me you guys had 4 boats between all of y'all that was out there? It was 3 or 4 boats. You couldn't take one of those boats to go back out to that island that night? The reason you didn't want to waste your gas because you already know what happened. That's another thing. Why call the Coast Guard or whenever when they said they can't find Nolan? That's the first thing you did. You didn't call around to your friends. You didn't call the police. You called the Coast Guard. That's another indication that you know something that we don't know. Okay. What another red flag? I'm sorry, but this has been bothering me for days and weeks, so I have to speak on this. Another thing that I noticed, they missing the obvious. You know what I mean? Besides the body language, the timeline not adding up, the story switching up. What they missing is the obvious. It was altercation over the phone. So let's keep it there. It's altercation over the phone. She said it was over the young lady. Remember, the phone is a big part of the investigation because whatever's on the phone, they either didn't want it on there. They saying Warren or Bart brother got beat up and he recorded it. Whatever the case may be, was on the phone, right? They took the phone. If he's arguing for his phone back and you leave him on the island, cold work. Cold work. Oh my goodness, that's cold work. So let's continue. Let's see what they got to say. I'm sorry.
Recover and come home to his family. So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Dude, guess how much it cost me?
I'm going to stop this video because I don't want to lose my cool with dude. Oh my God. I'm going to lose my cool with dude because he keeps saying he don't know anything about the altercation.
If something ever happens.
You were just in your video on your channel
like
saying how you heard there was an altercation and you read the text message.
It only took me 10 minutes to get coverage. It was 100% online, and I didn't even need to.
Let's keep it going.
Number 1, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put.
You see how do you a prosecutor? How do you miss that? It was over a phone. You creating a narrative over a woman. It said, if you listen to what the letter said or the text, it says an altercation over Nolan's phone. So I don't know why they're not acknowledging that. Burns me up, but here we go. Let's keep going.
Put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so
but Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies, and they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any.
Once again, running interference. What him losing the fight got to do with anything? He lost his life. What are we talking about here? Like, I couldn't be in the room with this dude. I couldn't. Man, What you say?
This is Mike. Can you fight? You can fight. Oh, you motherfucker, you can't fight. Look at you. Look.
Mike.
No, I want to know if the nigga. I want somebody gonna take my niece out. I want to know if the nigga can fight.
Yeah, that part. So yeah, no, I don't know. He running interference, and it's just really burning me up. Let's go.
Of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he
over a woman.
Because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and
I gotta keep stopping it. It bothers me. I repeated it, but she a prosecutor. How are you not hearing? You took what you wanted from that statement of what could be evidence, and you shaping it the way you want it to fit. But she said a phone. That's what the lady said. And the two witnesses was her and her husband. And yeah, you would see Nolan Wells on the island. You got two witnesses said you seen him on the island after everybody gone. If he's dead, he can't move. Yeah, he'll be. Was he alive when they seen him? Let's keep it 100. You know, you guys are playing games. This is just, cut the shit. Let's go.
Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies, and they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this particular fight that would lead to his death. And when
he know more than what he's saying. He didn't see. There go that doubt again. You saying he lost it? He lost his life. So why would you bring up losing a fight? So he know that an altercation took place. They probably jumped him. Dude probably had him in the arm bar while they fighting in the water, and he passed out or anything of that nature. But come on now, he running interference. Let's go.
You look at the autopsy, there is no blunt force trauma to his face. There is no lacerations or damages to the back of his head. This is redness that was underneath the skin.
Oh, wait, are you looking at the screen? Because I'm looking at a big red mark on the back of his head.
Yeah, but this is underneath the skin. This is not a big red gash that's in the back of his head, which would be consistent with blunt force trauma. This is something that occurred underneath the skin that could have been from pooling of blood after his death due to, you know.
Okay, I need to explain something.
I'll let the experts talk about specifics, but it doesn't appear that.
Okay, let's do that. But I want everyone to understand why Officer Tatum is here. Officer Tatum and Philip Dubé and others on our panel tonight are taking a particular side, right? It's called cross-examination, and it is similar to what happens in court. A theory emerges, a line of questioning emerges, and the other side tests it with fire under cross-examination. And then, hopefully, you get to the truth. Right now, we're talking about an alleged eyewitness to an altercation just before Nolan Wells is dead. If she has not handed this over to the police, it doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. But Tatum has a good idea, and that is, let's let an expert discuss it. To Joseph Scott Morgan, death investigator, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University.
If I raise up, gonna be trouble. Trouble. I'm walking off. If I raise up, gonna be trouble. Trouble. I'm walking off.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna cut the video right here. This got me so frustrated, man. So frustrated. they are not taking this investigation seriously, and I believe this is what they are saying. This is not factual. This is what I believe. This is my belief, that they don't want to ruin the lives of the 4 or 5 white kids that took part in this altercation for one black boy, knowing those white kids are judges' sons and lawyers' sons and doctors' sons and all that. You know, they don't want to waste their future for one black, and that's how I see it. And it seems like that's how they handling the investigation. So right now they're at the point they want Nolan's phone to search his phone for evidence. And all the family is asking, can we have someone there as well to go through to preserve the evidence? But what I believe it is, they want Nolan's family to play spades with their cards facing up so they can see what do they have, and they know what angle to take to get those boys out of trouble. And that's the game they playing. You want everything just like the tip line. Call the tips if you heard anything, and it went straight to the judges. So it's basically trying to get all the information and all the theories and all the witnesses' statements so you know what you up against. So you know what angle to play. So you could have a defense for why this or why that and this and that. So they just want them to play cards with their hand up. That's what it is. And I don't see this case going nowhere. As far as I think our people gonna stand up for Nolan Wells, and we gonna fight till we get justice. That's what I believe. But that's my belief, once again. So, you know, I don't want to hold you guys up. I just wanted to say my little piece. You know, if you like the video, hit a like, share it. You can even regurgitate it, but just know nobody's pointing that out yet, as of yet, that I heard. So, with this being said, give TG and Todd a credit, you know, where you got it from, and run with it. But ultimate goal is to get justice for Nolan. 3 letters, 2 words, be easy, I'm out.
Protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good.